Namaste, viewers. Welcome to Jnana Degula channel. Today we will go a little deeper into the perspective, philosophical, spiritual, scientific, all kinds of perspectives on consciousness. Again, unconscious. We have done a few episodes. We will try to uh, probe further on consciousness. Now, uh, from the biological point of view, the human body is made up of trillions, whatever number, trillions of cells, and each cell is performing various functions that keep us alive. Uh, these cells are also living beings. These cells are a collective, so many trillions of cells collectively form one uh, shape of a body or shape of a man or whatever it is, a being. That means we are not individual in a complete entity, but we are a collective entity of cells, which are again independent, and then which are like lives, like a life zone, which have got life. So now a question arises as to whether these individual cells are uh, do they possess life, do they possess atma, do they possess consciousness, all those kinds of things arise. So from the perspective of the science, individual cells which are a part of our body are not believed to possess consciousness according to science, in the way humans do all this collectively. Humans, we do. Of course, cells have their own forms of communication. They communicate with each other through biochemical signaling, but they are said to be not conscious entities by themselves. This is the perspective of the science, bioscience. Consciousness in the scientific sense is generally thought to arise from the collective functioning of the brain only. Our brain. The brain is made up of billions of neurons. Again, the billions, brain is made up of neurons, which forms complex networks and all kinds of things, which are thought to give rise to awareness. So it is primarily a function of the brain. That is what the science, uh, uh, that is from the scientific point of view. That is the thought, perception, everything is through brain only. So in the scientific model, the consciousness is an emergent property. That means it arises when the components of the brain work together in a coordinated manner, highly coordinated manner, because any misconnection will give some kind of a wrong this thing. But no single neuron or group of cells or whatever it is, is conscious on its own. This is the way uh, this is thought of. Now, if you look at the spiritual perspective, whether Atma is in cells, humans, and all those things, if you have to um, uh, think about it, particularly in the Indian philosophy, in the context of Advaita Vedanta, that is a great one branch of our thought. Atma is considered to be eternal. It is never going to die. It is always there. Past, present, future, everything. It is unchanging essence. This is present in every living being. The Atma is not individual to each cell, but it is an underlying consciousness, that is whatever you call consciousness, Brahma or whatever you call it, that pervades the entire being, including cells, other things, and every part of the body. From tip to toe, we can call it, as from the mind to the physical cells, for all those kinds of things. This is the spiritual perspective. So, Atma, very loosely translated as soul, is not divisible. It is said that the Atma doesn't get divided among trillions of cells or anything, or different parts. Instead, it is a singular, unified consciousness, one unified consciousness that inhabits the whole body. It's not only the body, it is the entire world, it is the entire whatever you see, perceivable, not perceivable, non-perceivable, everything. Anyway, here in this context, it is it inhabits the whole body. The cells, though they are independently living or independently dying, get born, get generated, get all those kinds of things, are guided by the life force, as guided by prana. This prana is a manifestation of the Atma's presence. This prana is the manifestation of the Atma's presence. Now, what is Jeeva? Jeeva is an individual soul. Okay. It is the reflection of the Atma in each living being. Atma is there, just like sun. When you see the shade, or when you see the image of the sun and different pots of water or mirrors or whatever it is, Jeeva, Atma, Jeeva is the reflection of Atma. Atma is there, it is a reflection in different and multiple or innumerable things. That is that. Jeeva is tied to certain things like ego, desires, etc., which are the which generate from the body, which comes out. Desires, ego, all those. If the body is not there, it will not be there. Because the body is there, ego, desires, all these things come. This gives us some kind of individuality. So according to this, every human being has one Atma. The reflection of Atma, actually the reflection of that Brahma Swarupa, it is not actually different, which animates and gives life to the body and the mind. This is how it is looked upon in the Vedanta. So, from the Vedic point of view, the Atma is the same across all beings. In this way, the Atma within the human being, in this way, the Atma within the human being is not fundamentally different from the Atma in other livings or other living entities or whatever it is, living or non-living, all kinds of things. The body, this body and the mind are considered temporary vehicles for the Atma's journey. They are only temporary. They are not permanent. The Atma remains unaffected by bodily functions, including the activities of the individual cells. See, because this body is a collection of cells. The body is a collection of all those small organs also, or even organs also, we can say. So the body with its trillions of cells, trillions different parts of the body, is like a machine governed by prana, but the underlying consciousness, in each of these things, which is rare, this is underlying, remains unified. So the cells themselves are part of the material body, which is perishable, but the Atma is eternal and uh, immutable, you can say. Each cell does not have its own individual Atma or Jeeva. But they function under the collective intelligence of the organism. So, this should be noted. Now, let us look into some of the modern interpretations, uh, quantum and consciousness, something like that. We have spoken about it, yet again we will speak about it. Of course, some modern thinkers inspired by the quantum physics and theories like panpsychism, 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 propose that consciousness may be a fundamental property at all matter, at all levels, at all, everywhere, and all those things. Omniscient, omnipresent, all those kinds of things. According to this view, each individual cells, note this, each individual minutest cells or subatomic particles or whatever you call, whatever you name them, anu, renu, truna, kashta, they call. That is why in this anu, rena, truna, kashta, everything, this Atma is there, this thing, like this. Anu means very small, very small, like that. So each subatomic particles might possess some kind of we can call it as proto consciousness. However, we don't know, but this type of consciousness could be extremely rudimentary, very elementary, very this thing, and not comparable to the human awareness. It might be exhibiting its consciousness in a very, very limited way. That is the. Of course, this idea does not align with the traditional concept of Atma in Vedanta, where consciousness is indivisible and not inherent in every single particle or cell, but rather in the entire being. This is like, it is not divisible, it is a collective thing, not collective, one it is there in the entire being, entire thing. So now one more question arises as to how many consciousness or Atma does a human have? Naturally, we are not one single, of course, we look like one single entity, but there are a lot of living things, in us, a lot of living organisms, lot of things that are there. Sometimes, even brain dead people, brain dead, it is not working. Of course, consciousness is, according to science, it is connected with the brain only. But brain is dead. That means brain is not working. That means there is no consciousness. But still we live now. But still there are a lot of things, so many activities are going on in the body. So it gives rise to a question as to whether the consciousness or Atma, how many of them are there, whether they are all present in. So the answer to this, how many consciousness or Atma does human have, is, according to Hindu philosophy, the human being has one Atma or soul, regardless of the number of cells in the body. There might be number of cells, number of different, uh, what we call entities, which we think that are present. Anyway, the Atma is universal and indestructible. You cannot destroy it. This provides the life force to the physical body, but not divided into individual consciousness for each cell. The Atma is the same in all beings. And while it animates the body, it is not bound by the body's physical or biological processes. So this is how it is. It can be viewed. It's a very uh, tough, tough to understand. One needs to ponder upon a lot. Still, you may not get the correct answer. Anyway, so to put it uh, in a nutshell, science sees consciousness as arising from the collective brain activity, with individual cells not being conscious entities at all. But we know that, see, each cell responds, each part of the body responds. It has got memory, it has got some experience, everything is there. So maybe it is being connected, it is linked through brain. But they all feel the pain, they all feel. Supposing if your hand touches some hot this thing, the hotness is not felt in the brain, it is felt in the hand or the where it touches. Of course, it might be through the what do you call a link through the brain. So here science, it says like this: individual cells not being conscious entities. But spiritual philosophy says that Atma as the unified consciousness in the human being, with the body and the mind being tools. Body and mind are only tools through which it expresses itself. So, the human body with its trillions of cells operates under one unified consciousness or Jeeva. You can say animated by the presence of one Atma. The Atma is the same in every living beings, regardless of the complexity of the number of cells. This is to put it everything in a nutshell. So, viewers, with these thoughts on the subject of or the question of the perspective of consciousness and cells and all those things in the body, we conclude this episode. I hope this is quite interesting. We request you to please put your comments, put your further comments and further clarifications in our comments box, so that it will be useful for us, so useful for others also who are interested in these kinds of topics. For the benefit of the readers, we have put all this in the description box. So with these words, we conclude. Please like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Thank you.